Hello and welcome back to Gentle Growth with Ivy, your cozy corner of positivity and growth. Today, let's dive into something we often overlook, especially in the hustle and bustle of our lives: celebrating achievements. Whether big or small, each milestone deserves its moment in the spotlight. So grab your favorite beverage, cozy up, and let's talk about the art of recognizing and appreciating your personal victories. Hope you guys have had a wonderful week. If you've been waiting on this podcast, I hope you've had a wonderful few minutes. If you're just coming from the last one and you're getting caught up, I just hope everything's going good for you, and hopefully everything that you've heard has been helpful. I want all this to be helpful. So, as a reminder, my name is Ivy, and I am a mindset coach. I truly believe that mindset is everything, and if you can learn to control your mindset, you can learn to control your life. If you learn to control your life, well, life gets better. And who doesn't want a better life? Who doesn't want to achieve happiness? Who doesn't want to feel like things are going the way they want them to go? And that's what I'm all about. So I'm happy that you are here and you're a part of this journey, and you chose me to be one of the leaders on your journey, because I know there's a lot out there. So I'm happy that you're here. So one of the first things on celebrating your achievements is reflecting on your journey, seeing and remembering where you've came from, because you've came from something. You have improved. You have made achievements. I know you have. You might have to look, do a little searching, but they are there. They are. So to reflect on the journey, before we get into the actual celebration, take a moment to reflect on the journey. Consider the challenges you faced, the lessons you've learned, and the growth you have experienced. Remember, it's not just about the destination, it's about the path you took to get there. I was listening to another podcast this morning, and it's talking about journeys, and this is going to jump ahead a little bit. But she was talking about taking the first step, even though you don't know what's at the end. Her name's Courtney Sanders, wonderful coach. But she used the illustration of the staircases inside of really large buildings. Stairwells is what they're called. And it's like what you use in case there's like a fire or an emergency, like a tornado or hurricane, whatever. But you're on a building that has 70 floors, right? And, if there's an emergency, you're going to be going down. But let's take the example of going along our path and looking up, even though we don't know what's at the very top, but we know there's a top. We don't know exactly what's up there, but we know that it's there. And so when you look at the stairwell, you look up and you don't see the top, but you still take that first step. So you take the steps and you get to the landing and you look up, you still don't see the top. So you take the next steps and you come up to the next landing, and you look up again, and you still don't see the top. So again, you continue up those steps, and you come to the landing, and you keep doing that over and over and over again until you get to the top. And I thought that was a wonderful analogy, because we might have an idea of what it is that we're working towards, but we don't know exactly what it looks like, what all exactly is there. But you know that the next step is there. You can see the next step. So just keep going. Keep going up the stairs until you get to that next step. But that was kind of off the thing of reflecting on your journey. I heard that and I was like, I gotta tell people this. Like, that is so good. So look back at the steps every now and then. Look down and, wow, that's far. I was down there before. And now I'm up here. I can see what I didn't see before. I am in the very moment that I didn't know was there before. I did it. I took those steps. So reflect on your journey, look back, and realize what it is that you have achieved along the way. And the next step in celebrating your achievements is create a victory list. Get out a pen and paper or your favorite note-taking app and just start jotting down your achievements. No accomplishment is too small. Anything from landing a new job to finally finishing that book that you started a really long time ago. I am not side-eyeing myself right now. That's not me. Each item on your victory list is a testament to your dedication and hard work. Nothing's too big or small. Something that I add to my victory list is whenever I replace a habit that I want to improve. For example, one of the not so great habits that I developed as a coping skill for my ADHD is whenever I crave knowledge and crave learning something, I will often find myself doom scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm sure we all do it. So I developed that as a coping skill. It's funny that's called a skill. Instead of actually doing something that's actually like teaching me. And so something that goes on my victory list is when instead of doom scrolling, I go into my little library app and I read an ebook, or I listen to an audiobook, or I listen to an educational podcast. Learning is so much better than doom scrolling, and so that goes on my victory list. And I know it may seem small, but those small things add up. Sometimes it's hard to look at a big goal and think, wow, I can accomplish that. And so it's better to look at smaller goals and learn and teach yourself that you can achieve your goals. Start small and work your way up. The next thing on our celebrating achievements list is embrace gratitude. Gratitude is the secret sauce to fulfilling celebration. Be grateful for the things that you have accomplished. It's a big deal. Take a moment to express gratitude for the people who supported you along the way. Friends, families, coaches, or even your four-legged pals. Their encouragement has played a significant role in your success. Encouragement and motivation is the fuel for achieving things. If you don't have motivation, then why are you doing it? You have to have motivation. So be grateful for whenever you do find that motivation, and be grateful that that motivation pushed you to achieving things. It's wonderful. And don't forget the fun part. The funnest part is treating yourself. Treat yourself, whether it's a spa day or a favorite meal or a simple stroll in the park. Do something that brings you joy. You've earned it. Celebrate in a way that resonates with you, and don't forget to savor the moment. Be mindful in that moment. I will create a podcast on mindfulness because that's life-changing right there. Mindfulness and mindset go hand in hand, and boy, is that a hand you want to take. So learn to really savor the moment of treating yourself for your achievements. And savor the moment of achieving things too. And just be happy that you did something. It's wonderful. You have no reason to not be happy. What other feeling would you want to feel in a moment after achieving something? Let's be happy. That's one of my biggest things is I want to help people feel happiness, because it sucks whenever it seems like happiness is just a teeny tiny moment that we barely get to enjoy. And so when you can shift your mindset into a more positive view, a more positive outlook on your life, you get to see and experience happiness so much more, and you get to experience it guilt-free. That's a big thing that whenever I've learned along learning about positive mindset is releasing guilt, especially when you're happy. Have you ever had a moment where you felt guilty for being happy? I seen it not too long ago. Somebody was able to go to an event on a special date, and their dearest friend, wasn't able to go with them. And so they were a little, in the wrong for giving their friend a guilt trip. Oh, it must be nice that you get out because I don't get to get out. And so then that person who heard the guilt trip while they were out, their happiness was watered down by guilt because they felt guilty that their friend also wasn't able to be out and be happy with them. So being able to shift your mindset and see things differently, you can be happy without feeling the guilt. You can treat yourself for achieving what you achieved without feeling guilty for doing so. And the next step in celebrating your achievements is what I think is another fun part, is sharing the joy. Celebrating achievements becomes even more special when you share the joy with others. Let your loved ones in on your winnings and reveal in the collective happiness. You never know. Your success story might inspire someone else on their journey. So, share your happiness. Tell them about what you achieved and allow them to embrace you in that happiness as well. Honestly, if it wasn't for the success story of others, I wouldn't have been motivated to be where I am today. And there is a difference in bragging and in sharing the joy in your achievements. There is a big difference. And if something is feeling a little braggy, you can stop and say, I don't mean to brag. And if you say that, then they might think that you were meaning to brag. Anyway, share the joy. Something that I really like to keep in mind is, you can't pour from an empty cup. And so I like to think of anything that I share is coming from an overflowing cup. I give from the abundance that I have in myself. And so when I'm so happy, I'm so filled and overfilling with joy, I like to let that overflow go into other people's cups and allow them to use that as motivation to continue filling their own cups. And the next step is set new goals. As you lay in the glow of your accomplishments, look ahead. What's the next mountain you want to climb? Setting new goals keeps the momentum going and ensures that your journey is as continuous, ensures that your journey is a continuous adventure of growth and self-discovery. So they say the sky is the limit. Don't stop pushing yourself for new goals. And see, that's another thing where mindset comes into play. A lot of people think, well, I'll be happy whenever I achieve this step. Okay? Well, then what are you going to do after that step? What's your goal after that? Be happy while you're chasing your dream, and realize that once you get to the dream, there's going to be new goals. Because that's how our brain works. I've been learning more about like neuroscience and stuff. And I know there's like difference in like dopamine and like oxytocin and stuff. So don't quote me exactly. But one of those two comes from the anticipation of something. So you think that you're going to feel better when you get there. But what you need to realize is that it feels good getting there. And so if you get your happiness from the journey of getting there, you gotta keep setting goals so that you can keep getting there. If you want to feel happiness, you want that constant pumping of dopamine into your system. Dopamine, pretty sure, is the happy chemical, the chemical that makes you feel good. And if you want to keep pumping that in, you need to keep chasing your goals. You have to set things for yourself to achieve so that you can keep releasing that dopamine. I hope that makes sense, and I hope I used all the correct terminology. And another step is learn from your setbacks. Remember that setbacks are not always failures, but stepping stones towards success. If you face challenges along the way, take a moment to understand what went wrong, learn from it, and use that knowledge to fuel your future goals and your future journeys. So I know I've talked about it before. Setbacks are not being actually set back. You're not moving so much backwards. It's more of a pause. And you're not failing, you are learning. So when you have a pause, take a look around. What is causing this pause? How can I make it better? How can I resume instead of keeping at this pause? And how can I prevent that from happening in the future? Now look at this almost as an outsider. Take yourself outside of the situation. Look at it as if it was your friend or family or someone close going through it. Look at it like that and assess. Okay, this is a pause. What caused the pause? What can get me out of the pause? And what can keep me from going into the pause in the future? That's what we want to look at. And so that's how you learn from the quote-unquote setbacks. That's a weird term for me because, like I said, I look at it more as a pause, not so much a setback. But a lot of people, they resonate with the setback. So it's just a pause, and you learn from those pauses. And finally, what is going to be your biggest ally on this journey? Cultivating a positive mindset. Celebrate your achievements no matter how small, and approach challenges with a can-do attitude. Your mindset shapes your reality, so make sure it's one that uplifts and empowers you. In the grand symphony of life, each achievement is a note contributing to your unique melody. So let's celebrate the highs and learn from the lows and continue this beautiful dance of self-discovery. So that will conclude today's podcast. I'm so happy you are here. I can't wait for you to come back again. And as part of working on celebrating your achievements, I want you to tell me some things that you have achieved. Leave a comment on a post, leave a comment here. I want to hear some of these success stories. And I would also like to know if any of my tips have helped you. I would love to hear some success stories. So leave some comments, and until next time, have a wonderful day.